What's going on, YouTube? Welcome back to another episode of the SO Show. Before this video, make sure y'all leave a like, comment, and subscribe for more content. Now, I'm gonna get straight into it. The NFL Combine is a waste of time. And what I mean by the Combine being a waste of time, I'm mainly talking to draft picks 1 through 15, maybe even 20. There's no reason for you to be participating in the Combine if you're a number 3 draft pick, if you're a projected number 10 pick. Why are you participating in the combine? Risk getting injured. If you do, let's say if you have you can have a poor performance in that combine. You could have had the best highlight game tape out there over the past 3 seasons. But if you do bad, if you have a bad performance at that combine, you could potentially drop in the draft. So if you're already a guaranteed top 5 lock, a top 10 lock, even a top 15 lock, why are you going to the combine? You're projected number 5, but if you do good at the combine, what? You get bumped up another slot just for, instead of a number 5, instead of getting picked up at the number 5 pick, you get picked up by a number 4 pick. Like it's really, the combine is really just mainly for people who needs that exposure. A projected top 10 draft pick has no business being at that combine. The combine are mainly for players who were overlooked, who needs that extra exposure. Coming from a program like Wyoming, coming from a program like a Utah, though the combine is made for those guys who needs that extra push, that extra shine of light. So guys like Quinn Ewers, guys like Will Howard, Jalen Milroe, those guys need that extra look. They need that extra oomph on their resume. Like, all right, Will Howard, for example, he just came off of a national championship run, quarterback, right, out of Ohio State. He just won the national championship. Yet he still is going to participate in that combine, and he will be throwing and he will be participating in all those drills. Why? Because even though he won the natty, he still needs to prove to these NFL owners, these 32 NFL owners, he has to prove to these owners that he can play at that level. Yes, you did good at college. Yes, you won a national championship, but can you do it on a higher level? So if Will Howard wants to, get a higher draft pick, if he wants more money, yes, he will participate in that combine to get a higher draft stock. So instead of going early second round, now he can go even early first round. He can get into an early first round pick because he outshined his opponents, not opponents, but you know what I mean. He outshined, other quarterbacks at that combine because he did such a great job. Quarterbacks like Shedeur Sanders and Cam Ward, they don't need the combine. Everything is done. Everything is literally on film. Everything is literally on tape. If you need to see how Shedeur Sanders throw the ball, just watch some film. If you want to see how Cam Ward handles the pocket and how he handles defensive line pressure and everything, look at the film. There's 3 years worth of footage that you can easily look at Shedeur and Cam. And honestly, they proved it. They proved it to themselves, and they proved it to the media. They proved it to all the fans and the haters and everything. They already proved themselves. So them already being a top 5 draft prospect, they have nothing else to prove. They are set. They are quarterbacks like that, players like that. They are set. Travis Hunter, Abdul Carter, again, they are guaranteed top 5 draft picks. They don't have to be there. They don't have to be at that combine. They don't have to showcase their skills because they're already proven themselves. So again, why would you need, as a top 10 draft prospect, why do you need to be at the combine? Because honestly, if you're at that combine and you're a top 10 draft prospect, it's only because you're trying to prove. You may be trying to prove it to yourself. You trying to prove to everybody that you're really the guy that you say that you are, which is understandable. I get that. Or you just love the competition aspect of it. You want to outshine everybody. Let's talk about these drills that actually go on at the NFL Combine, like the 40-yard dash, like the vertical jump, like the broad jump, like the agility drill. I'm sorry, but none of those drills have nothing to do with real football. It has absolutely nothing to do with football. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, bro. A 40-yard dash does not prove a good 40-yard dash does not prove that you're a good football player. That just means you run fast without equipment on. Okay, cool. You run a 4.2. Cool. You run a 4.3. That's cool. That's great. But does that translate to the game though? Because you still got to run in football pads. You still got to run with knee pads and a helmet on, and cleats and everything. Like you have to play football at the end of the day. You have to play football. A 4.2 40-yard dash means absolutely nothing. Ask John Ross. Ask J.J. Nelson. Ask Drew Archer. Ask those guys who runs that. A lot of those guys that run super duper fast, who run 4.2, sub 4.2, sub 4.3s, those guys normally typically don't last in the NFL because they can't translate it. I will gladly take a 4.4 40-yard dash from Odell than a 4.2 from John Ross. I will gladly take that because Odell can run a 4.4 in game speed and at the NFL Combine. It's a difference. Tyreek Hill is probably one of the most outliers of them all. Like he's probably like one of the few guys who can actually run a 4. I don't know what his 40-yard. He say he can run a 4.1. I'm gonna just say 4.2. Tyreek Hill is a 4.2 guy who can run a 4.2 at the combine and he can run 4.2 on the field because you see it. You see a 4.2. You see 4.2 speed out of Tyreek Hill once he put those shoulder pads on. The distance that he has between but the distance between him and the defender are always great. You can always just see how fast Tyreek Hill actually is. So there's very few guys that can actually translate that fast 40 time into actual game time. And that's why I say 40-yard dash doesn't mean a thing. You could run the slowest 40 time in your position group. You can run the fastest 40-yard time in your position group. It doesn't mean you're going to be a good receiver just because you ran a good 40 time. It don't mean if you run a bad 40, that don't mean you're going to be a bad receiver. That just means that you ran what you ran, and let's see how you translate in the NFL. That's it. The bench press. I get it. If you're a corner, if you're an offensive line, the bench press is very important. How can you get that guy? How can you rip that guy off you? How can you block that defensive end? How can you, I understand bench press. It's all about the chest. It's all about how strong you are, your upper body is. I understand that. But again, a low bench press, it means absolutely nothing. It doesn't mean anything. Vertical broad jump. Again, if you're a receiver, having a high vertical, yes, that is attractive. Having a 40-inch plus vert jump as a receiver, as a corner, yes, that is absolutely it's absolutely important. That's real good to have. That's a real good trait to have if you want to go to that next level. Because again, owners they salivate over that. Like they drool over those type of numbers, those 40-inch verts. They drool over 4.2 speeds, 4.3 speeds because it's all impressionable. You know what I'm saying? Like it's all impressionable. That's what the NFL combine is. It's just an impression on what you making of it to show these owners what you can do, what you can possibly do on the field. I'm not gonna say what you can do. I'm gonna just say what you can possibly do on that field. That's what the combine is for. It's an attraction pill. Why do you think that these networks and everything, they're trying to pick up the 40-yard dash event? Because it's an eye popper. A lot of people who watch the combine are only specifically watching for the 40-yard dash. They want to see who runs the fastest time out of everybody. Who's going to break the next 40-yard dash record? It's an attraction. That's nothing but that's all it is. It's just an attraction. It doesn't mean anything. It's meaningless. All I'm saying is the NFL Combine is a waste of time to a certain extent. If you're a top 10 draft pick, you should not be at the Combine. Even if you're a top 20 draft pick, you should not be in the Combine. The NFL Combine is for players that needs that extra exposure. They need that extra light. They need to show these NFL owners that they can actually play football. They can actually, they can potentially translate all their skills that they're showing to real game time. That's what the NFL Combine has been about. And people like Shedeur, people like Cam Moore, who's not throwing at that combine. It's just a new age. That's all it is. It's a new age. These players are realizing their worth. They're not out here to prove to the media. They're not out to prove to the owners. They're not trying to prove to the outside world. They're not trying. They know who they are. That's at the end of the day, they know who they are. They know what they can provide for these NFL teams, and there's no reason for them to be even at the combine participating in these events. They're not bougie. They're not too good. They're not too self-absorbed. They're not. It's not an ego thing. It's just simply I'm already a top 5 draft pick. What business do I have participating at these drills? How high can I get in this draft if I'm already projected to go number 3? But that's it from me, man. Y'all stay tuned for the next video. Make sure y'all like, comment, and subscribe for more. And I appreciate y'all for tuning in.